It means that additional funding is likely not going to come, right? That when we're thinking about the fiscal policy piece of this, it means that they're not going to offer support. It doesn't mean that the cities or localities can't issue debt around it if that's part of the deal. But if it is a fiscally sponsored initiative, then they could lose additional funds to finish the project.
So does Morgan Stanley feel that the tunnels still have a future as a fiscal project?
Yes, I think they do. You just have to remember that it's taken a long time, right, to even get this project off the ground. Or
John Tucker, you were a toddler when they talked about the tunnel over there.
Well, this thing isn't going to be done for I don't know, not in my lifetime, I don't think.
Okay.
At least, but it could get completed, right?
Wait, is that a promise? But and there's another separate with the Portal North Drawbridge, which is the Northeast Corridor bridge that always gets stuck. That looks like I go by that every day. That looks like it's almost done. So I don't know. I don't see workers there. Are
you taking over the interview? Is that what I see?
No, it's you get near and dear to my heart some of these projects.
Yeah, it's okay.
Get excited.
Isabel, save us, please.
Delayed gratification, right?
That's If we zoom out for a moment, with the shutdown now on its 21st day, how do you think the market is currently pricing in the political dysfunction, or do you think that they're underpricing it? I feel like they're kind of apathetic.
Yeah, there is, sort of this lackadaisical, right, response. Yes. We're seeing and investors essentially waiting to see when we get that resolution. And they're looking to history, right? That even when we got that 35-day shutdown in the prior Trump 1.0, round one, government was made whole, right? And so that is the typical course, right, of doing business. This is a different situation, though, because we don't know how many federal workers are likely to come back. I do think that the contracts, broadly speaking, when we're thinking about the economic piece of this, on defense and other major areas that are reliant, will be made whole. It's just on that labor piece that's the big question.
In the meetings you're in, and Morgan Stanley's made a cottage industry of this for years, in the meetings you're in, do you have a timeline when this idiocy is over? Like, are we talking days, hours, OMG, a surprise announcement, plus positivity? Or is it just the ugly drag out that we're hearing about?
Well, if we're thinking about, right, that I think you're referring to, right, this tension in Congress where they just can't come together and all the dynamics around that.
A bunch of years ago, there was one flight that was delayed at Reagan or at Newark, and they finished it in 4 days. That's not happening.
So they need some sort of pressure point. And typically it's actually the military families and salaries, right, for active military that have brought the two parties together and actually forced the issue. It's been something like, right, TSA or, what's happening at the FAA. If you get disorder or dysfunction there, you could see that quick resolution like Tom mentioned. The thing is that we don't have any key pressure point yet to actually move the needle. So we're waiting to see what that could be. The other piece here is that as we head towards closer to that 30-plus day window, markets are likely to get nervous, right? You could get volatility after that, and that could move legislators to act. You're actually seeing some GOP members now be more vocal about wanting a deal on ACA extensions. So I do think that there's room here for them to come together and actually, pass a CR with a healthcare subsidy extension. It's just what gets them to the table that's the big unknown.
But is this something you do with your team? Have a prediction or a solid figure?
I'm not going to make any predictions on that because I think it's anyone's game. We were really strongly in the 2-week camp, and now I feel like once you blew through that date of the 15th, it's sort of anyone's bet at this point.